Hi, friends. This is your friend Ayush, and today I'll be discussing with you some of the tips and tricks which can make you learn very fast. Now, before starting anything, the first question that should come in your mind is that why do we even need to know these things as to why should we even care about learning faster or not learning faster? So the first thing is that our world is ever changing and the technology is evolving. Everything is evolving. The only constant thing that is there is learning. So when things are changing, the only person who can really, if you really want to stay ahead of the curve, that is only possible if you really know how to learn. So as we have been taught from our childhood that learning is nothing, you need to learn this, you need to learn that, but nobody actually tells you how you should learn. So today we'll be discussing some of the techniques and methodologies that I personally use and I've benefited from them, and I would want you also to try them out. So I'll discuss with you 5 methodologies that will really help you learn faster. Anything. It can be driving, playing guitar, coding, anything that you want. So, the first methodology is the rule of 80/20. So, the 80/20 rule says that 80% of your productivity will actually be obtained from the 20% of the work that you do. And this is not just related to the work, it is also related to your customers or anything in life. The 80% of your purchases will actually be done by 20% of your customers, and the 80% of productivity in whatever you do actually comes from the 20% of the work that you put in. For example, if you want to learn how to play guitar, now the thing is that you can learn how the guitars are made, how the strings are made, what are the materials of the strings, or you can actually start learning by the chords. If you'll know how to play the chords, you'll be able to play some music, and it is just actually the 20% of the learning that will help you produce some good musical results. Similar goes for coding. Now you can delve into the functions and APIs and all of that. You don't necessarily need to know all of those things, right? You only need to know the things that you actually need. And so those things are very less. So always follow the 80/20 rule. Figure out what are those 20% things that will have the most impact and just pursue on studying those 20% things. This way, you'll learn much faster and you'll be able to achieve your goals and results very, very, very fast. And others will be shocked, like how you did it. Second, the second methodology is that you should always follow the Pomodoro technique. Now, the Pomodoro technique is not a new one. It was given by scientists in a long time back. But in today's world, where distraction is so much and it is so difficult to remain focused on any one thing, Pomodoro technique is like the thing that you should do. Now, what is Pomodoro exactly? So, Pomodoro is that you have focused small sessions followed by small breaks. So, for example, if you're studying 25 minutes, then it should be followed by a 5 minute break. Then you can again study for 25 minutes. You can again have a 5 minute break. And when you do like 4 to 5 such similar Pomodoro rounds, then you can go for an hour for a break, which is hour long. That way, you have to tell your mind that, okay, for 25 minutes, I'll go into the distraction free mode and I'll not touch or do anything that distracts me from the work that I'm currently doing. And this is actually one of the main things that you should do if you want to go in and use the formula of deep learning. Deep learning is basically the meditative study where you really focus on one thing and then you detach yourself from that thing and you do things that you want to do for the next 5 minutes. This way you'll realize that you have become far more productive than you actually were, and since your mind knows that after 25 minutes the session will end, so it will also help you remain more focused. So the second thing is following the Pomodoro technique. Now third thing is always, always, always start by learning by doing. Now I'll give you some facts, and the facts are that you only retain 10% from reading, you retain 20% from audio and visual. You remain 50% from the demonstrations. 70% you retain while you are practicing, and 90% of what you learn you actually retain by doing it yourself, applying your learned knowledge to the real world problem, getting your hands all dirty. This is by far the most effective way of learning anything. If, for example, you have learned a very simple concept of maybe addition, right? Then don't just keep it limited to 2 plus 3, which is given in the textbooks. No, take it out into the real world. Use it in your daily applications, right? When you make a purchase, your transaction, now you see that okay, now you are using addition. Similarly, this is a very small example, right? But whatever you are trying to do, always be focused that you are using it for your real world application and you are actually getting your hands dirty to do that work. So, the third most important thing that will help you learn anything very fast is learning by doing. Now, the fourth technique that will help you learn fast is being persistent. Yes, now you all know that being persistent is the key, but I'm going to tell you why it is the most essential thing. Because if this thing is not happening, none of the four, three above will be there. And these things are very dependent on each other. So if you'll not do the fourth thing, the remaining three won't really work. If this is the axis of results and this is the axis of efforts, right? In the starting, our efforts are very high, but our results might be up, might not be down, might not be up. But slowly, what happens is that results start declining, and but the effort is still going on, and then there's a dip, and then things go up. Now, the most problematic area is this dip. In this curvature, this dip is the most difficult thing because this dip is actually the point where most of the people quit. And when you quit, that is basically the point where you lose everything. Because if you could have had persisted this dip, you would have had gone up. And this is actually a graph, which is one of the most famous graphs around. If you look around over the internet, you'll be able to find it. Now, most of the people, when they start an adventure or journey or whatever, it would be like this because in the starting, you are all pumped up. You really want to go, go, go. You want to hustle, right? And so this is known as the honeymoon phase, right? You have started something, you are getting great results, you are giving in a lot of effort, and everything is going good. But what happens is that as you proceed, things start to plateau, and then there's a downward decline, and then this is the most difficult phase where if you survive through this phase, it's gonna go up, right? So be always remember when you are in this dip, never ever quit. Keep persisting yourself, keep pushing yourself that no, I have to cross this dip because after that it's just heights. So remember, fourth thing is always be persistent. And the fifth point that will help you learn anything very fast is actually great sleep. Yes, you should have a great, relaxed, calm sleep because sleep is actually the main thing that human brain needs to have. Like this is a researchers have found it. There's this concept of neuroplasticity, which says that your whole brain is actually an elastic. So whatever information you absorb during the day, it all gets processed, and your mind, your brain and your mind, they like learn to figure out that what they need to do with that information. The brain and the mind, I don't know what exactly to say so that you do not get confused, but the whole processing is actually done during the night. So if you're able to have a good sleep, then that is quintessential because in the morning, just do it one day. Like when there might be a problem, right? You sleep on that problem, and in the morning, you realize that you all of a sudden have a solution to that problem. Now, that has not happened because you were working during the night. No, you were just sleeping. But sleep is very important because that is when the information retrieve, all the information absorbed gets processed. So always remember to have good sleep. So now let's recap. Can you remember like why do you want to learn fast? Yes, you want to learn fast because the world is evolving, and if you want to stay ahead of the curve, you want to earn more, you want to have a good life, you need to know more than people around you, right? So you need to be very good at learning new skills. So now how you can do that? First technique is 80-20 rule. Always remember 80% of the results come from 20% of the efforts. So remember that. First rule 80-20, right? Second rule, do you remember? Yes, exactly. It's the Pomodoro rule where you need to have sessions of intense focus followed by slots of interval of breaks where when the intervals you really enjoy and chill down basically, but then again followed by periods of intense focus. So it's Pomodoro technique, right? Do you remember the third thing? Yes, you are right. That is learning by doing. Always, always, always get your hands dirty. Try to do things that you learn. Try to find the real world application of whatever you've learned. The associations that you make during this whole process will actually be something that will help you a lot. So third thing is that learn by doing. Fourth thing is you should always be persistent. Remember this curve, right? Honeymoon phase, dip, quitting, and the actual success. So never ever quit when you are in the dip. Now I'll tell you, there are basically six. There are, I think, five things that Seth Godin says that why people quit, and I'm gonna share them in the last. So if you want to know them, just stick around. And the fifth thing was great sleep. So these are actually the five things that you need to know if you want to learn anything 10x faster. Now, the five things that Seth Godin said that why people quit is, first thing is that they run out of time. They don't have enough time to really dedicate to the work that they were doing. Second thing is they run out of money. That you have now run out of money. You don't know how to survive through that phase. So that is why you quit. Third thing is you get scared that, okay, this thing did not work for so long, and it might be possible that it might not work for more. So I should quit, right? Fourth reason is that you don't remain serious anymore about it. Like when you started, you were very serious about the thought that, okay, this should be there, this should not be there. But over the time, things change, and now you're not really that serious. And the fifth point that Seth Godin says is the main reason why people quit is that they lose interest, right? They lose interest. Now, retaining interest in something when things are not working out, that is actually real persistence. So if you really believe in something, irrespective of the fact that whether you have interest or you don't have interest in anymore, just remember, why at the first place did you even start the thing? And that thing will give you the answer to remain persistent. So these were the five things that you should do in order to learn anything very fast. Now I'll see you in the future, and we'll learn more productivity things. Until then, our main is always to improve ourselves and become a better human being than what we are today. On that note, this is your host Ayush. Goodbye. Bye.